Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, today, I want to attempt to answer a question that might be in the mind of so many people. And the question is the problem of South Sudan President Salva Kiir Mayardit or Riek Machar, or the problem of South Sudan is the two? This is the question that I want to attempt to answer in this video. But before we proceed, if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, please subscribe, hit on the notification button, like, comment, and if the videos interest you, share with your colleagues in the circle. It's a way of making the channel grow. And when it grows, it motivates us to make more videos back to back. Thank you so much for those who have been supporting us. We are much grateful and continue doing so. So back to our video. As I said, the question that I'm attempting to answer in this video is the question surrounding whether the problem of South Sudan is President Salva Kiir Mayardit or Dr. Riek Machar, or if the problem of the country is both the two men, Machar and Salva Kiir Mayardit. Now, I understand there are many people who have the argument that the problem of the country is President Salva Kiir Mayardit. And the argument is based on the reality that Kiir has been the president of the country since independence, and he has served prior to independence, he served in the army as a general liberation fighter, and that when the country gained independence, when he became the president, he should have taken steps that should have taken the country to a very different status from the one that we are seeing today. But so many people claim that Kiir deliberately failed to do that. In his 15 years or so of wielding power, some people argue that he has done less or even nothing. Some people argue that Kiir has done nothing completely in his last 15 years of presidency, and that the only thing he has done is he took the country back to war over and over again. And to some people, based on these reasons and many more others, the problem of the country is President Kiir. Some people argue he has been misusing power, giving positions to people who are so much allied to him, not based on merit, and many more other reasons. This made many people to think that the problem of the country is President Salva Kiir Mayardit. But also there's a section of people who subscribe to the school of thought that no, the problem of the country is not President Salva Kiir Mayardit. The problem of the country is actually Dr. Riek Machar. And so many people who fall under this school of thought drew their argument from the fact that Machar has as well been in the struggle for quite long, and that when we visit history, Machar has been one of the guys who have sabotaged in one way or the other the possibility of the southern part of Sudan then to become an independent state. And over again, he has attacked some of the liberation fighters. And the only history that comes to people's mind is the one of 1991. And that some people believe Machar also has the tendency of having, the big heart for power. And that once he is eliminated from a political space, when he sees himself not in position to occupy certain space in the politics, he picks up arms and he resists against the government. He has done that. That's why the reason we had the Nasser function. In 1991, we all know what happened. In 2013, we all know what happened. In 2016, we know what happened. And some people claim even recently, as the case is still ongoing in the courts, some people still hold the belief, the very strong belief that Machar is still behind the recent incident that happened in Nasser. And for these reasons, a section of South Sudanese strongly believe that Machar is the major problem of South Sudan. Simply because he has a big heart for power. That's what they say. And this is not, or these are not my words. But also, there's a section of South Sudanese who subscribe to the belief that the problem of South Sudan is actually the two men, or both men, Machar and President Kiir. They are the major problem of of our country, South Sudan. That's what some people think. And the argument has been based on the fact that these people have been there right from the liberation war. They led the country into independence. They became the first leaders when the country gained independence. And because of their big hearts for power, they seem to have only focused on things that only benefit them. And that when they see that something does not get into their benefit, then they take the country back to war. And to so many South Sudanese, they hold the view that the problem of our country is both Machar and President Kiir. And such people believe that for us to have a lasting peace in South Sudan, for us to have a prosperous country, for us to have a country that can have a vision and catch up with the rest of the world, both men, Machar and President Kiir, have to exit the political space. They don't have to be the leaders. They don't have to be the ones leading the country. They both must exit the politics of the country. That's what many people think. That for us to have a lasting peace, for us to have a country where every South Sudanese is proud of, we must have the two men exit the political space and give space to the new crop of leaders or politicians who probably are still, who have the capacity, who have the ability and the skills to do things or to make things right, but they don't have the opportunity to take or to occupy these positions. That's what many people think. And people who subscribe to this thought, they hold the view that if President Kiir and Vice President Machar have to exit the political space, then they have to exit with all these veteran and senile politicians who masquerade themselves as the liberators of our country. And thus, for us to have a lasting peace, it's not only Machar and Kiir, but Machar and Kiir, including all these senile and old leaders who always think that the only way to have a country, the only way to resolve problem is when they pick up arms. That's what so many people think. But today, I want to give you my thought of what I think of the two men, Machar and President Kiir. I understand, and I, to some extent, buy that at some point, Machar and Kiir are the problem, or they are at the center of the problem because they have the capacity, they have the ability, they would have displayed their political will to keep the country safe and focus on development and do things right. They have that all within their power, but they choose not to. Whereas I believe that these two men are the ones who could actually influence things, or are the ones that the whole political dramas that happens in our country are as a result of their influence. Whereas I believe in such arguments, I also believe that for us to have a lasting peace in South Sudan, we still need to have these two men involved. I know this statement might disappoint most of you. I know it might not sound like a good music to your ears, but to me, that's the reality. And my argument is based on the fact that both President Kiir and Machar hold the most powerful political and military positions of the country. They have the highest stakes in the politics and military forces of our country. They have the most highest followers in the country. People who subscribe to their political beliefs regardless of if they are right or no. These two men have the highest level of political networks within the country. There's no debate about that. And therefore, if we are looking at having a country that will have a lasting peace, the option of having Machar and President Kiir on the tables in order to draft a very good transitional plan is not an option, it is a necessity. But Kiir and Machar have to be there. Maybe the only thing that we'll have to discuss about it is how this has to be done. Because this has been done in so many ways, but they have shown no political will. We've done it through peace agreements, we've done it, but there is lack of political will among the two men. And therefore, my answer to this question of whether Machar or Kiir or even both of them are the problem the problem to our country is that yes, they might be the problem to our country, but also they are necessary to get or to be involved in a process that can easily create a peaceful South Sudan. These two men, we cannot just out of blue and just wake up early in the morning and say we're going to eliminate them from the politics of our country. They still hold the highest political and military stakes in our country, and therefore they have to be involved. The only discussion that we will have to have is how this has to be done, because we have done it in so many ways, but it has over and over again failed. So I believe that Machar and President Kiir might have been the problem of our country, but we still need them to have a country. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Wanit.co. If you've been planning to build a website, but the cost has been holding you back, Wanit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, Wanit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, Wanit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multilingual options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. Wanit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit Wanit.co or email them at info@wanit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +1 226 504 3322. Wanit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by Wanit.co. You can see them right here.